What's up, everybody? Nick Dwyer back for the 10th inning, here with another episode of This Day in Sports History. In yesterday's episode, we saw Gerrit Cole sign the largest pitcher contract ever in Major League Baseball history and one of the largest contracts in sports history. We don't have any pitchers signing major contracts today. We do have one major contract today, as well as some more Heisman Trophy winners and some rule changes in the MLB. So if y'all enjoy this video, leave a like on it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. This Day in Sports History. We will start off in 1930, and the BBWAA would vote to continue the custom of selecting an MVP for each league. Beginning in 1931, the annual vote will designate a player from each league. Previous MVP winners would now be allowed to repeat under the new rules, something that was prohibited by the American League in the 1920s. 7 years later, in 1937, moved to the Grey Cup, and at the 25th edition of the Grey Cup, the Toronto Argonauts would claim their 4th championship, defeating the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 4-3. From the Grey Cup to the NFL in 1938, at the NFL Championship, the New York Giants would defeat the Green Bay Packers 23-17, and at the time, this would be a record title game attendance of 48,120 fans. Staying in the National Football League now in 1949, we don't have a championship game, but Chicago Bears quarterback Johnny Lujack would pass for 6 touchdowns versus the Chicago Cardinals on the day. The Bears would win 52-21, and Lujack on the day, 468 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. 2 years later in Major League Baseball in 1951, Joe DiMaggio, the Yankees' great center fielder, would officially announce his retirement from Major League Baseball. Bounce forward 30 years now to 1981 in boxing, and Muhammad Ali in his 61st and final fight would lose to Trevor Berbick via unanimous decision. Over to tennis now in 1983 at the Australian Open on the men's side, Mats Wilander would win his second career Grand Slam title of 7 overall, defeating Ivan Lendl 6-1, 6-4, 6-4 in straight sets in the final. We get into our first Heisman of the day in 1993, and Charlie Ward, Florida State's quarterback, would win on the season 3,032 yards, 27 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, plus 339 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground. Ward would win with 2,310 points to second place's 688. Stay with the Heisman in 1999, running back Ron Dayne out of Wisconsin would win on the season 2,034 rushing yards, 20 touchdowns for a total of 2,042 points to second place's 994. Then we get into the largest contract at the time in 2000 in all of sports, not just Major League Baseball. Alex Rodriguez would sign the richest contract in sports history, a 10-year deal, $252 million with the Texas Rangers. Now this would actually double the previous high of $126 million paid by the Timberwolves to Kevin Garnett in 1997. But we get off a contract, move over to hockey now in 2002, and Joe Sakic of the Colorado Avalanche would score his 500th career goal in a 3-1 loss to the Vancouver Canucks. Back to the Heisman now in 2003, and quarterback Jason White out of Oklahoma would win on the season 3,846 yards, 40 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, and he would win it with 1,481 points to second place's 1,353. 1 year later, we stay with the Heisman Trophy in 2004, and quarterback Matt Leinart out of USC would win with 3,322 passing yards on the season, 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, to go along with 6 rushing touchdowns. Leinart would get 1,325 points to second place's 997 to win the trophy. Stay with the Heisman in 2010, and we have a bit of a blowout when Auburn quarterback Cam Newton would win on the season 2,854 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, to go along with 1,473 rushing yards and 20 touchdowns. Newton would gain a total of 2,263 points to second place's 1,079. And we will end today's video off in 2013 at the MLB winter meetings. The owners would vote to ban home plate collisions over concerns about serious injuries recently suffered by catchers Buster Posey and Alex Avila. So that's what happened on this day in sports history. If I left anything out, I do apologize. But I'll see everybody tomorrow for Nick Wire and the 10th inning.